Zina and Amara had been inseparable since their first year at Lagos State University. Intelligent, ambitious, and full of dreams, they were the kind of friends who shared everything, from textbooks to late-night suya under the mango tree behind their hostel. They called themselves twin flames, not because they looked alike, but because they sparked each other's fire. If Zina had an idea, Amara would bring it to life. When Amara was down, Zina knew the exact words to lift her spirit. Then came Obinna, tall, articulate, and charming in a way that made girls giggle without meaning to. He entered their lives during a campus fellowship event. But it wasn't the scripture he quoted that made Zina notice him, it was the softness in his voice when he spoke to her, like she was the only person in the room. Within weeks, they were a couple. Amara cheered her on, always with that glowing smile. "You deserve this, Z," she would say. Zina believed in love, perhaps too much. She believed in Obinna, even when he sometimes disappeared for hours without a word, came late to dates smelling faintly of alcohol, or picked fights over nothing. "He's just stressed," she would say. "Final year is tough for everyone." But Amara's smile began to fade. She stopped asking about Obinna. Sometimes, Zina would find her staring into space, brows furrowed, then quickly faking a smile when caught. Then one afternoon, Zina returned early from a lecture to find Amara packing. "I'm moving off campus," Amara said without looking up. Zina blinked. "Since when?" Amara paused, then said, It's just time. I need space." Zina tried not to panic, but everything felt off. Amara wasn't telling her something. A week later, her worst fears were confirmed. Obinna was engaged to Amara. The wedding was in December. Zina sat on her hostel bed, hands trembling as she stared at the Instagram post. A photo of Amara's hand in Obinna's, a diamond ring glinting in the sun. The caption read, "God's timing is perfect. #forever yours #miking. No warning. No explanation, calls went unanswered. Messages were left unread. The betrayal stung deeper than words. It wasn't just that Amara had taken Obinna. It was that she had never said a thing. Zina disappeared into herself for weeks. When the wedding photos surfaced, she didn't look. Not at first. But when she finally did, something inside her broke, then slowly started to heal. 3 years later, Zina had blossomed into a woman who had survived fire. She had completed her master's degree and started her own tech startup in Abuja. She smiled more now, but it wasn't the same smile she once wore. It was wiser, grounded, and lined with lessons. One rainy evening, she ran into Obinna at a supermarket. His once pristine shirt was wrinkled, and his eyes were bloodshot. "Zina." He began. She raised a hand. "Don't." But he continued anyway. She left. "Took the kids. I messed up." Zina looked at him closely. The weight of alcohol and regret clung to him like second skin. "I'm not surprised," she said quietly. "You never stopped drinking, did you?" He shook his head slowly, shame clouding his features. As she turned to leave, he whispered, "You deserved better. Always did." Fate, however, wasn't done writing Zina's story. Months later, she met Chima, a reserved civil engineer with kind eyes and a laugh that felt like morning sun. He never tried to impress her. He simply showed up. Every time. He was the kind of man who remembered her favorite snack, texted to ask how her presentation went, and picked her up when her car broke down in the middle of a downpour, without complaint. Zina was wary at first. Her heart had scars. But Chima was patient. When she finally opened up about her past, he didn't flinch. "I'm not him," he said. "And you're not her anymore. You're stronger." Their courtship was slow, intentional. Love, Zina learned, didn't have to burn fast to be real. It could be steady, like an ember that warms rather than scorches. When Chima proposed, he didn't do it on social media. He did it in her small apartment, after dinner, holding her hands with tears in his eyes. "Marry me, Zina," not because we're perfect, but because we're ready to grow. She said yes, not just to him, but to herself, to healing, to new beginnings. On the morning of her wedding, Zina received a message. It was from Amara. Zina. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I made a terrible mistake, and I've paid for it in ways I can't explain. I just want you to know I'm truly sorry. You were always the better friend. I hope you find happiness, the kind I once helped destroy. Zina stared at the message for a long time. Then she typed back, I forgive you. May we both find peace. She didn't press send. Instead, she smiled, closed the phone, and walked down the aisle into a new chapter, one not haunted by shadows, but lit by truth, growth, and love. Dear esteemed viewers, what insights did you gain from this captivating story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the tale, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates. Thank you for watching, and stay blessed.